Hi, and welcome into the Ranch Sitdown. My name is Shane Hollinger. A very special episode for you today as we have three guests. Last week, we headed to AmericanaFest for a spotlight of great Fort Worth music. And today's episode, we talk with Fort Worth Mayor Mattie Parker, from Visit Fort Worth, Tom Martens, and one of the artists on the lineup, Summer Dean. It's the Ranch Sitdown. We are chatting with the great Fort Worth Mayor, Mattie Parker. Thank you for taking a second to chat with us. Good to see you again.
You too, Shane. Thanks for having me tonight.
It's a very exciting night. The night we're talking about, we're at AmericanaFest in Nashville, and we decided to just turn Nashville into Fort Worth, Texas.
And for some reason, they've let us do it. I don't get it, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, we've had a lot of fun, and how great it is to have all these great artists from Fort Worth here.
It really is. You got to do something very special, make a proclamation for Delbert McClinton Day in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah. Well, highly encourage all of your listeners to Google him if they don't already know who he is, what a legend he is. He'll be 85 November 4th. So we decided to name November 4th, 2025, Delbert McClinton Day for the city of Fort Worth to honor his legacy, an incredible singer-songwriter that's been so notable for our community and really across the United States. And I love that AmericanaFest made that possible. So thanks to them.
It was neat to watch Delbert's face as you were making that proclamation.
Yeah.
You just saw his eyes light up. You could tell how much Fort Worth means to him.
You can, and I mean, it's worth noting, too, that special shout out to Fort Worth ISD, their superintendent, Karen Molinar, and their team. We learned pretty quickly that one thing that would really mean special to him was an actual diploma. He was like half a credit short in English, apparently, to get his high school diploma. And how special it was tonight. We gave him that diploma, the official diploma. His daughter, Delaney, had tears in her eyes.
Yes.
So I think that was a pretty cool moment.
There were a lot of people in the crowd with tears in their eyes. And you could hear people
it was a touching moment for sure.
It was really neat. So Fort Worth music is an absolutely incredible music scene. And I'm really starting to think that people are like, you know, everybody has always called Austin the live music capital of the world. Fort Worth is really, if not taking over that, on its heels.
Well, we've leaned into that role, and you have to give your station a shout out. Seriously, I mean, establishing Fort Worth as a place where we want to support local musicians, especially through radio. You know, then came venues that we've tried to really support through Tom Martens and Here Fort Worth and Visit Fort Worth. But importantly, how many creative people are coming out of our city? But we also want them to play in our city, to be supported there. And that's really what this is all about, right? Why we wanted to come to Nashville and be a part of AmericanaFest, really tell the Fort Worth story.
It's really neat to see, even from artists at the Ranch play, a lot of them have moved to Fort Worth because of what a mecca it's been for artists that used to go to Nashville to write, are now just all meeting in Fort Worth to write. And so, like, it really has become its own hub of music.
Yeah, well, then it's working,
thanks to good leadership. It really is.
Well, it's continuity, too, right?
Yes.
And everybody working together. It takes the public sector, the private sector really pushing that boulder uphill. And I'm so pleased to hear what you said, which is that we have artists now that have chosen to be in our city.
It's great. A couple of other things I want to talk about Fort Worth.
Sure.
And it's right over on my way to work every day. Texas A&M and the Convention Center. There's
all
a
downtown.
lot of things happening in Fort Worth.
Well,
and that's just one little portion of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're working downtown. You see that. I mean, we could spend the whole time talking just about all the development happening across the city. But specific to downtown, over $3 billion of development happening in the Central Business District, which is fantastic. You mentioned Texas A&M, which is adjacent, of course, to the Convention Center that's expanding. Phase 1 is now under construction. We'll do Phase 2 next. And it's really to be able to better compete with other large cities to bring conventions and business back to Fort Worth where it deserves to be. And importantly, keep supporting these creative opportunities like this one here tonight through business and visitor tourism. And Visit Fort Worth is top notch, and I'm so proud of the work that they're leading. We wouldn't be in this position without them.
And you grew up a music junkie, really.
I did.
It was instilled by your parents.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, and David and my husband and I still spend a lot of time, when we have free time, it's usually to go see a concert or music festival. And part of that was my parents growing up. They took me to a lot of festivals and concerts really across the country, especially in Texas. And that really has been ingrained in me. My children do the same thing, but it really does enrich a community in a way that's so unique, and you can't replace it. And it does make every city really special. You mentioned the city of Austin. They have their own thing going on. We don't need to duplicate it, but we certainly need to lean in and make it special.
And what's nice about you finally getting a night off, it's not always going to be on the weekend, but even a weekday, you can go see a ton of great shows in Fort Worth.
Yeah,
and it's not like that in a lot of cities.
No, it's really not. But I really commend the business leaders across Texas and really Fort Worth. Now they've reinvested. You know, the bar scene has to be there for a reason. You also have to have a honky tonk or a live music venue for people to be able to play in.
Right.
We've always been known for Billy Bob's, which, as we should be, America's world's best honky tonk, biggest honky tonk. But we also now have smaller venues across our city for all types of music. music that people can come visit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mayor Mattie Parker, thank you for chatting with us.
Of course,
We appreciate
Shane. Thank you so much.
Let's go have some fun and listen to some more
Sounds
music.
good. Hey, Fort Worth. Thanks.
Fort Worth has an incredible music scene, and today we're talking with Tom Martens from here, Fort Worth, Visit Fort Worth, and everything else you're doing for the city of Fort Worth at AmericanaFest, where AmericanaFest has allowed Fort Worth to just basically take over the town.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, it's really
It kind of feels that way.
It's really neat, and it makes you realize how special the Fort Worth music scene is when you come here and you see people. And I've been talking to people that are from Nashville, and they're just absolutely blown away by every single band that they've seen from Fort Worth.
Wow, that's really cool.
It's really neat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty neat. So we started coming to AmericanaFest in Nashville. This will be our 5th year. And one of the reasons we started coming here is because a lot of musicians from Fort Worth were applying for AmericanaFest. And for those who don't know, it's similar to South by Southwest, where you apply and then they look at your criteria, new music coming out, social media, all the stuff. And so I said, well, let's do an unofficial showcase. And so we've been doing that, and you've participated with us. And we've been doing that. Like I said, this will be our 5th year. And so this year, it was really amazing is we saw 5 artists get picked. And then they actually did it. It's amazing. And we've had Jack Barksdale and Summer Dean and, Robert Ellis and a few other folks, but we've never had a breadth of 5 diverse artists
At one festival.
Yeah. And so it's been, Brandy Waller-Pace, it's Matthew McNeil, Claire Hinkle, Jack Barksdale, and Summer Dean. And so they came to Fort Worth in June and did a site visit to see if we were really the music city that we claim to be. And, we took them by the ranch and let them, because, you guys are the largest Americana reporting radio station.
Still blows my mind. Yeah.
And so they were just, enamored with what we're doing locally, but also, our venue ladder, having everything from the Post, but also, Tulips, Cicada, all the way up to Billy Bob's and Dickies. Yeah. And so, we're the 11th largest city now. And a lot of people, overlooked Fort Worth. And, even Dickies will say when they're talking to promoters and bookers, it's the largest city you've never played.
Right. And
so,
you should.
And you should. Yeah. And what's funny is we started talking back in the pre-COVID of, Dallas has its own, zoo, it has its own PGA golf tournament, has its own museums, but it has all these suburbs Richardson and Plano and Frisco and, Allen. And then Fort Worth has Weatherford and Aledo and Abilene and all these things. And people will drive only so far for a concert before they'll, stay overnight.
Right.
And so we talked to them about we should be able to support 2 dates. And if it's not on the first leg, maybe the second date or, back to back. And so we started seeing this. And now, we've, not that it's in our genre, but Lady Gaga announced 2 dates.
That's what I wanted to say. That right there is that says something.
Yeah.
Because Lady Gaga will sell out any arena she plays.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do 2 nights in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah. And she could play. And Dickies is 14,000 seats.
Yeah.
And so 14,000 seats at American Airlines, that's just up to their platinum level.
Right.
So you can go even higher and have so for her to do 2 dates here, but then also we had how many George Strait shows we've had. 9 Inch Nails is coming on Saturday. I mean, there's
so many killers at Dickies.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's amazing just to see what's happening in our city. And also it's crazy is because we see our hotels have a lift from, people staying overnight. As Fort Worthians, when we drove to Dallas, we were always conditioned to drive back, even if it was 2, 3 in the morning.
What time.
Exactly. But now we're seeing, people from Dallas, they'll stay overnight, they'll make a weekend of it. And that's great for our visitor and nighttime economy, but also it's great for our restaurants. It's just really cool to see how the city's different. But, it's just changed a lot. Even Meacham Airport says when a show plays at Dickies, they see a huge lift and people coming in from Midland and Odessa and stuff like that, Lubbock, they'll see a private lift at Meacham. So it's good for our music's good news, and so it's fun to support.
I always wondered how many people from Dallas come to Fort Worth for the first time and see a show, and then that moment in their head were like, I'm moving to this town, whatever I got to do. I wonder how many people have done that. Because, we have so many artists, talking to Mayor Parker earlier, so many artists from across the country or even across Texas have moved to Fort Worth because of what's happening here. And a lot of it has to do with here, Fort Worth.
Well,
you guys are giving travel grants to artists, as long as you go out and promote Fort Worth. You've helped them with health care. I mean, it's incredible the things that they're doing with for these artists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really, we do town halls, and I know you've been to a few of them, but it's where we listen to the music community, and it's not like, we can always do more, I feel like, but it's one of those things where it's how can we listen to the community and see what they need. And one of the biggest things from day one was how do we provide some type of health care for musicians?
Right.
And no one's looking for a nose job. No one's looking for any kind of thing crazy like that. They want to not go from being sick to sicker or from sick to being bankrupt.
Yeah, they want to be able to work.
Yeah. And so it's really funny is like Sam Anderson from Quaker City Nighthawks, he really like boiled it down. He's like, it's kind of like when you were in college and you could go see the doctor on campus for $35. He goes, we're not looking for anything for free. We just need to be able to afford it.
Right.
And so we partnered with JPS, and they really looked at it as an opportunity to provide this service to musicians, gig workers, sound engineers, light engineers, but all within Tarrant County. And that also helps our friends in Arlington.
Yeah.
And so it's really a big deal to like be able to, take care of our folks so they want to live here. When they go on the road, they talk about Fort Worth, and those are ambassadors for us. And that goes to our travel grants. You've probably heard me tell the story about Vincent Neil Emerson.
Yes.
He was living in Fort Worth, and he came to us and he says, y'all need to buy a van and a trailer and let musicians check it out like a library card. And I said, that's a horrible idea.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
What's
the
a van
liability,
gonna
the
smell
insurance,
like?
the maintenance. And I said, what do you need? He goes, well, we just need that first $500 to get on the road. And I said, so you need $500? And he's like, for that hotel room. And so we were able to start doing that. And we fundraise for that. And now we've got some budget from Visit Fort Worth to take care of that. And it's not like we have unlimited funds, but it's also, we've had, it's anywhere from $150 to $500, 3 consecutive dates out of the DFW Metroplex area. Yep. And it has to be a show open to the public. It can't be a wedding or like a house party. Yeah. And so we see people actually book shows with that in mind to be able to go on the road.
That's incredible.
And so it's really cool. And then, our friends at Printed Threads, they give them $150 worth of merch credit. And so it's cool for them to be able to, get some koozies or some T-shirts and sell that stuff to go on to the next city.
Pay for gas, really.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's a propelling it.
That's absolutely incredible. The things that you guys do to help artists is just inspiring. It really is. And you're starting to see other cities want to do it. We've been at, some of these, I was at your panel yesterday, and there's other areas and like Kentucky and stuff that are trying to do what Fort Worth is doing. And so you guys have just been innovators and leaders in something that's hopefully is going to be a nationwide thing.
Yeah. Well, it's funny as a lot of people say, do you mind getting on a phone call or a Zoom and talking about it? And I said, well, it's not a secret sauce. We're not trying to, I would love every city to replicate this.
Right.
I mean, because it only helps our creative community.
Helps
and
the arts.
Yeah. Yep. And how many people move to Austin because they love live music, or how many people move to a city because they talk about something that inspired them to be there.
Yep.
We want people to, we always joke is, people say, oh, you're responsible for all the traffic. And I said, no, we want people to visit here, spend money and leave.
Yeah. And then you can come back again if you want.
Yeah. But our whole thing is just, we want people to be proud to say they're from here.
Right.
You have people Summer Dean who's playing right now, and her backdrop says Summer Dean, Fort Worth, Texas. We got Leon Bridges. It says, Leon Bridges, Fort Worth, Texas. That's the best advertisement you can have is when somebody you listen to and love says their hometown. You're like, man, that city must be pretty cool if they're from it and love it enough to put it on their backdrop.
Well, and Summer was saying, she did the Grand Ole Opry twice, and it's from Fort Worth, Texas, Summer Dean. That is so neat.
It's
when
really
that happens.
cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Is.
And it's fun just to see people, even put it in their logos now for bands, and it's and it's, we've always had a sense of pride where we're from, but when I grew up, I used to race BMX, and everybody would claim the biggest town. So a lot of people, even though I lived in the mid cities, people claim Dallas.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're closer to Fort Worth than, and so, but it's funny is now people are so proud of where they're from. They claim it no matter how small it is. And it's cool to see people claiming Burleson and Arlington and, Hearst. So, but we're proud of the folks that call Fort Worth home and go on the road and support that. So
absolutely. Well, Tom Martens, thank you for taking a second to chat with us, man. What you guys are doing is really neat and inspiring, like I said, and can't wait to see what's on the next level for you guys.
I can't wait, and thank you so much for all you guys do for local music. Shane, you're always there. You're at the shows, local show. I know how much you put into that, so we appreciate what you're doing as well. It's seen and heard, so we appreciate it.
That. Thank you, Tom.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We are chatting with the great Summer Dean at AmericanaFest. It's a big Fort Worth showcase. I was telling Mayor Mattie Parker, we were talking earlier, it's I love that Nashville just let us take over their city for a day.
How lucky are they?
I know, aren't they?
No, I like Nashville, and I think it's kind of an easy mix. I think it's it feels like cousins, you know?
It kind of does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. So what's new in the world of Summer Dean? I just heard some rumors that maybe we're working on some new stuff.
Yeah. So
Like a lot of new stuff, it sounds like.
yeah, fun things. We released the album and we played the Opry twice.
Golly.
Crazy.
So the first time you step in that circle,
Dude.
is it just, everybody says, like, I'm not going to be nervous, and then it's just a wave of emotions.
It really is. I wish it for every country music person because it's so it's just the reverence in that building.
I can imagine.
Now, when on your debut, they let you step in the circle during your rehearsal, so that everybody's on stage. Everybody's on stage for the first time, not in front of everyone.
That's
so,
good.
So you kind of get that out. You
Right.
get those hibby-jibbies out, and then when you go to your performance, you've already been up there, so it's still special. But you already have the first time.
Do you feel like there's just legends looking over your shoulder the whole time? Like,
they are.
don't mess this up.
You feel it because they are. The first time we played, it was Marty Stewart and Connie Smith and John Conley
Oh my
on the show with
gosh.
us. Yeah, so funny little tidbit story. We're in the dressing room, and John Conley's walking around like in his day clothes and his t-shirt, and his hair's all messed up. And he's walking in the hallway, the hallowed hallways in the backstage, and he's like, has anyone seen my hairbrush? Has anyone seen my hairbrush? And we're in the room like, should I give him my hairbrush?
Know who this is?
Should I give John Conley my hairbrush?
I think the answer is always yes.
Well, I stuck my neck out in the hallway. And I said, sir, I've got one. You're welcome to use it. He goes, no, my people are here somewhere. I guess he found it because he looks nice.
That's when you know you're a star, when you have hairbrush people.
When you have hairbrush people, yes.
Where's my hairbrush person?
Yeah, I don't do that myself. Somebody else brushes my damn hair.
Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine? I know.
That would be awesome.
No, I carry my own damn gear, much less brush my own hair.
So the question
I drive,
is, though, is Marty Stewart's hair really as nice as it looks on TV?
Yeah.
Like he has honestly,
everything Marty Stewart does is real nice.
Pisses me off how nice his hair is.
I mean, I think he deserves. I mean, he's fantastic. It was a Friday night, and John Conley sang "Friday Night Blues." They get in your. I mean, I cried all day long.
God.
And then we got to stay in Hank Snow's house. It's an Airbnb. In Madison.
Okay, so funny story. I'm with Larry Joe Taylor last night hanging out.
How many names are we going to drop? I love
lots.
this.
And he got a text from Sean Camp, great songwriter, wrote Sister Draper with Guy Clark. And he texted him, hey, there's a party tonight at Hank Snow's house. Y'all should come.
Crazy.
It was like,
they do parties there.
It's weird. How many times has Hank Snow's name been in any interview in the last 10 years? Right. We just broke the record. That's all. But like you are one of those that really are a traditional country fan. You like. I mean, you just absolutely love that.
I do. I do. I've dedicated my entire existence to it.
Right.
And I feel like it's really about to matter more because the Grammys just it's always been just country music and now they have the contemporary category and a traditional category. And the way they defined traditional country music was the instrumentation and the lyrics and live instruments, live stuff like that. And everybody at the door open and all the sound coming in.
Oh, it's all good. We're having fun. We're in a venue.
And then, there's artists like Jake Worthington out there. And we were in Maryland, of all places, and we had a night off. And Jake was opening for Zach Top that night. So we went, and Jake's up there singing A11. And all these kids, when I say kids, target audience, like 21 to 25, target audience, singing A11 by Johnny Paycheck.
What?
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's happening. It's going to happen.
That's incredible.
So... And we're so lucky to be from a state where it does matter. It never didn't matter in Texas. It always mattered in Texas. And so I just feel lucky every day. It's hard work, but what good thing isn't,
You are a driving force in the Fort Worth music scene, and it's absolutely cool.
I'm grateful to be.
And you're stopping the saying that people will say, I don't like chick singers. When they hear Summer Dean, they shut up.
Because I sing in a man's key. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what it is, you know.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that is a stereotype.
It's
sure,
it's a dumb stereotype. Let's just be honest.
I feel like at 45 years old, I freaking love men. I don't know what camera. I love men. Y'all, my DMs. Which camera is it?
I'm married, Summer. Leave me alone.
That never stopped a lot of girls. It'll stop me though. Don't worry
Thank
about
God.
it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. That's how rumors get started. We should stop.
That's absolutely
Everything's
how
fine.
rumors get
Everything's
started.
fine. We're just riffing.
So I want to talk about this new music that you're doing,
Yeah.
that you've been working on. Can I say how many albums you're thinking about releasing, or we could keep that?
Yeah, I'll say it. So I'm gonna do an album of my own songs, and then I'm gonna do a second album, which is a tribute album. I'm just not telling everybody who I'm
It's one
tributing.
artist?
Yeah,
The whole album's going to be one
the
artist
second
songs.
album is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We're gonna do a tribute to We're gonna do a whole album of one artist.
If I guess what you said, no.
No.
I'm not going to run this. I'm not going
No,
to. That's
no,
cool.
we're still signing some papers and stuff.
Oh,
so,
yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of that.
Once I get all the rights to do everything, then I'll tell everyone.
That is exciting.
I'm excited. I haven't released anything since, the attention span in this industry is about 3 weeks.
Right.
But I haven't released anything. I
That's
released a
giving
single
lot of
this year, but I
credit
released
to
an
the
album.
attention span when you say 3 weeks.
No
I'm gonna be
kidding,
honest,
right?
it's like, hey, I just
Gosh.
released a song. When's your next song coming out?
I know. I released an album, and then 6 months later, my agent was like, "Well, you don't have a new album." I'm like,
No, I do.
I just spent 40 grand on one 6 months ago. What do you mean? So, but I released a single, that cover of Somebody's Knocking. You played it.
Yep.
I released that in January. And so I just wanted to get some fun stuff out. But no, we're workshopping big time right now. So
That is awesome.
We're in it.
Are you writing with anybody on the album of your songs?
No, there's no co-writes.
It's
They're
all you.
They're all mine.
Boy, just
Yeah.
throwing yourself out there, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't even
Yeah.
decided. Yeah, we haven't even decided which. We know which ones are definitely going to be on there, but we haven't decided some extra ones that might still make
okay.
it. And some of them have pretty controversial topics, which is not really my. I don't really do that.
Yeah, no,
you know?
it's never been you.
No, but I just write so many songs. I was trying to push my normal, you know. So we'll see.
You sound like you're going out of your comfort zone a little bit.
I mean,
or at least
the sound
attempting
isn't.
to.
Yeah, the sound's gonna be country music.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What else could you do? Let's
I don't
be
know.
honest.
Even what I like, Somebody's Knocking that we just put out. I think that's a rock and roll song.
It kind of is.
It's a disco beat and a rock and roll
Yeah.
song, but I feel like because my band is just a class act country band, and then producers country and I'm country, just whatever we do is going to come out that way.
Do you ever think about doing a bluegrass album?
I'd love
which is
to. I mean, I've got a
country,
really
but-
low voice, which bluegrass is typically in a higher register.
Yeah,
Yeah,
way
and I
up
got
there.
these nails. I can't play too fast.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
Be a
I haven't-
bluegrass singer.
Maybe one day.
Never know.
I don't know. Maybe one day. I'm not from the hills. I'm from the desert. So
Wow.
I don't know.
The heels.
Did I say that?
You did. That's awesome.
I didn't even know I said it that way.
That was almost like somebody from Tyler.
Is that that's the tag. That's the bit right there.
That's the bit.
That's a
the
sound
one
bite.
that, that's the one that's going on the Tiki to Talk.
The junket. Yeah.
Well, Summer Dean, thank you for taking some time with us. You're about to go do a set up here. Any surprises in that?
No.
No?
No,
Just
no.
Straight up Summer Dean?
Just more of badass stuff,
I
dude.
can't wait.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm so excited to be from Fort Worth at Americana right now.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody back home, you would be so proud.
Oh, my
because
gosh, yeah.
Not only is the country music represented, but every genre is
different
represented.
Yeah.
And it's just
We got some rock and roll playing right now.
Yeah, Claire. I'm just so proud of Fort Worth, and I'm proud to be a member. That's
Absolutely.
it. Let's just keep flying the flag.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Summer Dean, thank you so much for chatting with me. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Shane.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Ranch Sit-Down. A big thanks to our guests, Mayor Mattie Parker, Tom Martens, and Summer Dean. We'll catch you next time.